Do you realize the root of all ills in life lies in our desperate attempt to play God? Do you realize that it is the illusion that our strengths, our victories are ours? This illusion is the root cause for all our struggles in life. The Kena Upanishad reveals a very profound secret. We are all not meant to play God. We are meant to be parts of God's play. The greatest danger is when we miss out an apostrophe, when we say we are gods, instead of saying we are gods with an apostrophe. We belong to Him. We belong to God. And when we realize that our strengths are not ours, we gain our strength from the Supreme. Atmana vindate viryam. Pratibodha viditam matham. Amritatvam hi vindate. Atmana vindate viryam, declares Kena Upanishad. Atmana vindate viryam. We gain our strength from the omnipotent Supreme Being. Our strengths are not our strengths. Our abilities are not our abilities. Our abilities are gifts bestowed to us by the Supreme Being. The Upanishad gives us a beautiful story in order to highlight this fundamental truth, to reveal the secret to us. There was a time when the Devas engaged in a battle against the Asuras. The battle ensued, and after intense struggle, the Devas won. The Devas managed to win over Asuras, and they started to celebrate. The Devas, in their victory, got carried away and started to celebrate and started to think that after all, it was their might, their strength, their capabilities that ensured victory for them. And as they were celebrating, they could see in the far distance a divine being, an yaksha, standing there, witnessing their celebrations. The Devas were curious. None of them had seen such a divine, magnetic being. And they were very curious to know who this yaksha was. And they decided to send Agni Devata, to go and find out. Agni approached the yaksha, and then Agni was little hesitant because the yaksha was so very radiant, and in that radiance even Agni was not very confident to speak up. And then the yaksha asked, "Who are you?" Agni, with great pride, replied, "I am the Agni Devata. I am known as Jataveda. I am the knower of everything, the knower of Vedas." The yaksha then asked, "What are you capable of?" With great pride, Agni replied, "I am capable of burning everything and anything. I can turn anything into ashes." The yaksha calmly picked up a blade of grass and then looked at Agni and said, "Can you burn this blade of grass into ashes?" Agni laughed, then said, "Why not?" And when Agni tried desperately, Agni failed. Agni miserably failed to burn that blade of grass. Acknowledging defeat, Agni came back and mumbled, that he was not able to find out the identity of that yaksha. Then Vayu followed. Vayu approached the yaksha. A similar conversation ensued. The yaksha asked him, "Who are you?" Vayu confidently responded, "I am Vayu. I have no boundaries. I can go anywhere and everywhere as I please." "What are you capable of?" asked Yaksha. And Vayu responded, "I can lift anything in this creation. I can blow away anything, howsoever heavy it may be." The Yaksha calmly picked a blade of grass, looked at Vayu, and asked, "Can you blow this grass away?" Vayu laughed and tried to blow that piece of grass away. To his shock, to his dismay, he miserably failed. The blade of grass did not move an inch. Vayu had to admit defeat. He came back, and several other devatas followed Vayu. All faced the same kind of defeat, same kind of embarrassment. Finally, it was Indra's turn. As Indra approached the divine being, Indra could sense that this was not an ordinary being. Indra was in a state of awe and bhakti. And as he approached that divine being, that yaksha suddenly disappeared. Indra was looking around, and luckily for him, Uma Devi was passing by. And Indra asked Uma, did you see that divine being looking like an yaksha who was around here, who happened to just now vanish, disappear? Do you know his true identity?" Uma Devi laughed and responded, "Indra, were you not able to recognize him? He is none other than that Parabrahman. He is none other than that Purushottama, Narayana, the Paramatma. He is the cause of your victory. He is the source of all your strengths." And it is at that moment Indra realized how he and all the devas were carried away. He realized their pride. He realized that ultimately their victory belongs not to them. It belongs to Narayana, the Parabrahman, the Purushottama. How we function in this world depends on two factors: what brings us to the world and what we bring to the world. What brings us to the world refers to our source. What we bring to the world refers to the resources, our abilities. Now, when we deeply examine the nature of reality, we realize that ultimately God is the source of all sources. Everything comes from Him. Kena Upanishad explains how Bhagavan is ultimately the cause of all causes, the source of all sources. Not only that, He is also the source of all resources. And He is the very resource that we need to accomplish the mission of our lives. We are all normally programmed to only look for the gifts in our life. The Upanishad shifts our focus from the gifts in our life to the gift called life. Spiritual progress is to move from a state where we only see gifts in life to a state where we see life as a gift. And ultimately, we move to a state where we only see the gift giver. When we realize that all the gifts are ultimately sourced from the gift giver, all our focus then shifts to the gift giver, the Supreme Being, the Purushottama, Krishna. That is when we understand that our abilities, our strengths are not just our strengths, not just our abilities. They are manifestations of the sparks of the limitless abilities, limitless strengths of Krishna. Krishna manifests as our skills, as our abilities, as our capabilities. And when we recognize this, we then transform into instruments of Krishna. Our spiritual journey is a journey of transformation, where we transform into instruments of Krishna, recognizing that He is the source of all sources. He is the source of all resources. He is the source of all our successes. And it is in that recognition that we also realize that ultimately victory belongs to Him. Ultimately, when we act as able instruments of Krishna, He always wins, and when He wins, we too win. That is why the Vedas loudly declare, Jitante Pundarikaksha, the one who is always victorious. And the beauty of His victory is, it is in His victory lies our victory.